In this lesson, I'm going to discuss how we can use metaphors to express our films more clearly, both in the screenplay and filming stage. Working with metaphorical thinking is a bit like working with the theme of your film. It's mysterious, but it can help you clarify the concept of your film to yourself. So what is a metaphor? Metaphorical language is something that you can visualize. Yeah. So you can start by listening to your friends when they speak in metaphors. So an example could be something always knocks me down. I didn't have any wind today. It's a heavy project. So weight and stuff like that. Yeah. So let's look at some examples of metaphors. Let's take a film, for example. Let's think about Forrest Gump. It's a small boy in a grown man's body. Yeah, that's the metaphor of the film. So the metaphor in Forrest Gump is that small can still be small in size internally and work miracles in a bigger context. Yeah, so it's innocence. So now the metaphor is helping us into the theme of the film. Like innocence sees better than the supposed grown-up world. Yeah. So that is why I'm using the words small and big. There has to be a size to a metaphor, a position, a posture, or a symbol, almost like a traffic sign. Yeah. So it might sound very fascinating and confusing to talk about metaphors, but the more you get to know it, you just start to realize it's another tool in your toolbox, thinking in metaphors. So for example, if you see a movie poster that is half human and half horse, that was a horse. So this by itself is a metaphor. Yeah. So a metaphor is kind of clean. So half human, half horse can mean a lot of things, but when you're looking at the metaphor, you are the one putting the meaning into it. So a poster with half human, half horse could be a horror film. You put the meaning into it. It could be a documentary about the relationship between horses and humans, which goes back centuries. So, for example, if you want your audience to understand that your film is a mystery, it doesn't really work if a character says it. We want the audience to produce the word mystery inside themselves. So, again, metaphorical and metamorphosis. So the sun, in a metaphor, the sun puts light on the flowers, and there's metamorphosis, metaphor. There's a production from the audience to your seed in this metaphor. So what could be an example of a metaphor where we get the audience to imagine or create the word mystery? What could that be? Think about it. A voodoo doll. We see a voodoo doll in the background somewhere, and not just a man stretching. Yeah, that invokes a symbolism that we are positioned in a misery. Not misery, mystery. Even though I'm saying that the words are not enough, we can also place metaphors within a word, and therefore increase the understanding of the one listening. Let's think about just two verbal versions. One is without a metaphor, and that could be don't dwell on the past and focus on the present. But with a metaphor, you could say looking into the rearview mirror can get you killed. So just notice the difference it has on you when you listen to it, with a metaphor and without the metaphor.